advancement through quality education, that is Sarthak. The major focus of Sarthak is to define activities in such a manner which clearly outline goals, outcomes, and most important, time frame. It is so interactive, flexible, and inclusive that Sarthak would benefit all the stakeholders, whether it is student, school, teacher, administrator, parent, and ultimately community. सार्थक, as its name suggests, सार्थक एनईपी के तहत लिए गए संकल्पों, नीतियों को मूर्त रूप देने के लिए बनाया गया पोर्टल है, जो कि योजनाओं के सही क्रियान्वयन को साकार करने का मार्ग प्रशस्त करेगा। निश्चित रूप से नीतियां समसामयिक समस्याओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए उनको ओवरकम करने के लिए बनाई जाती हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं जो चूक हो जाती है वो उसके प्रॉपर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट पर है। सार्थक उस इम्प्लीमेंटेशन को पूरा स्ट्रॉन्ग करेगा, और निश्चित रूप से हम कह सकते हैं कि एनईपी 2020 अपने उद्देश्यों की प्राप्ति में सफल होगी। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Really, we are fortunate enough that we got opportunity to listen and discuss the implementation program of NEP with such great academicians. Policies are always designed for improvement in existing system after due deliberations to overcome the shortcomings. I think no policy has any lacuna, and each policy is designed to fulfill the contemporary requirements. But most significant part where some policies fail is its proper implementation. As Honorable Professor K.S. Tiwari sir, an eminent educationist, is with us, I would like to request Professor K.S. Tiwari sir to tell us how Sarthak is going to help in achieving the goals, especially of early childhood care and education, foundational literacy and numeracy, curtailing the dropout rates, and ensuring universal access to education at all levels. These are the aims of our NEP 2020. So, sir, I invite you to throw light on these terms.
Thank you very much for introducing me to all my dignitaries, guests here. At the very outset, I welcome all of you. Honorable Janab Sheikh Tajuddin Sahab, Deputy Commissioner, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Jabalpur. Respected Dr. Amarjit Singh Ji, the guest speaker from Girls College, Rewa. Respected Shri Chandan Kohli Ji, Principal, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Rewa number 1. Madam Ravita Pathak Ji, the convener, the moderator. Friends from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, esteemed teachers and the guests. This is indeed a great pleasure for me to be part of this wonderful gathering here today. And I really want to acknowledge you that I had the pleasure to be part of this wonderful organization 20 years back, when Mr. Kameshwar Pandey, Mr. Masood Ali, Mr. Gupta were the principals of this school. So I was a part of this organization. Now, when we talk of a national education policy at this point of time, there are a number of issues coming to my mind. The NEP 2020 policy draft is very extensive, vast, with multiple suggestions, components. It has been designed, developed, compiled, articulated, and finally prepared after a huge, rigorous exercise involving thousands of experts and lakhs of suggestions. But still, it will keep on modifying, changing, involving number of deletions and additions. The draft is very rich with ample of information, and our country needs, what our country needs, we are far ahead and beyond such draft. I mean, the Indian needs are much bigger. We collectively will have to work together hand in hand to implement the policy on grounds. So that's a big question. To benefit millions of learners in the country and a billion Indians. It is a challenge before us. Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, in my opinion, has a great role to perform now as a catalyst and sensitize the chains of different schooling systems in the country and the social organizations because of its outstanding reputation across the country and indeed the world. Please come forward and accept the challenge. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has already stressed the need and role of teachers, institutions, and the communities to make it a grand success, an all-time great event. I think that is the spirit behind the NEP 2020. As the moderator, Madam Pathak, rightly pointed out, there are certain very crucial and important issues to be taken up. As far as the spirit of this policy, as you know, it started with the change of the name of the department. Earlier, it used to be Human Resource Development Ministry. Now, it is Department of Education or Ministry of Education. This was the major change. It had some meaning. I think human resource development is a bigger term. Now we are confined and focused to a single term, that is education. We are primarily focusing on education. So the basic spirit is to fostering unique capabilities of each learner. That is the basic challenge before us and before Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. Improving fundamental literacy and numeracy, flexible choices of and the interest and the capabilities of learners. There should be flexibility in choices. That was not there in the earlier policy, which was implemented in 1986, 34 years back. It should be multidisciplinary and multidimensional. To develop the personality of a learner, it is essential to have a multidisciplinary approach that we have in this policy. Another drawback in the earlier policy was there was no conceptual understanding. It was simply a grooming and mugging up of this subject. So it is not the purpose of the policy, any such education policy is to not the data dumping in the brain. Rather, there should be kind of creative thinking. So which is already there. Ethical values, the human values, they are very much and very well incorporated as a component in the policy. As you know, the power of language is very important. May it be Hindi, may it be English, or may it be any other regional language of the country, incorporated in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. Honorable PM has also stressed the need of the power of language. So we are basically focusing on the importance of languages and the information given through different languages of the country. Use of new technology. This is again a very important point. You talk of early childhood care or foundational literacy or numeracy or curtailing dropout or ensuring universal access to education. Whatever the issue is, the basic problem is now we are in the 21st century and 21st year of the next century. So the whole world is changing very fast. We have witnessed the adverse situations during COVID-19. So now this is high time when we should focus primarily on the IT supported tools. It may be internet, maybe satellite, augmented education, maybe frequency modulation radio, maybe education portals or any kind of IT tools. So I think in the coming few years, we will be primarily switching over to IT tools in the country to educate the masses, because our reach in the remote corners of the country, the tribal pockets of the country, amongst the SC/ST population of the country, the disabled, the women, and so on and so forth. So the application of IT, the web, the FM radio, the TV, the satellite, the mobile, everything, it should be, promoted with a sensible approach. So that is the primary focus of the policy, and this will certainly address all the issues that you have discussed right now. Again, respect for the diversity. As you know, we are a diverse country. Diversity in terms of languages, diversity in terms of religions, the races, the languages, the everything. There are multiple diversities. So this policy is primarily addressing and coping up with the knowledge with the diversity of the country. That was very important. I think the NEP 2020 has rightly come up with the idea of addressing the issues with the concept of diversity in the country. So respect for diversity is very important. Again, one very important fact that Honorable Minister Education and Honorable Prime Minister also stressed the need of equality. There should be equal opportunities of education to everyone, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, race, religion. So that is already there enshrined in our constitution. So equality, the accessibility. Accessibility is also a very important. If our education system is not accessible to millions of learners in the remote part of the country, it has no meaning. So whatever we have designed through this policy, we are trying to improve the accessibility of our learning system. So equality, accessibility, quality. Quality is again very, very important. Because so far as quality is concerned, whether it is school education or any kind of any level of education, higher education, or even the higher levels of education, quality need to be addressed very, very cautiously and very urgently. Affordability, because millions of Indian learners in the poor pockets or the unprivileged areas of the country, they are still not in position to afford the cost of education. So affordability is also again a very important point. Sustainability. कैसे टिकाऊ हो? टिकाऊ means ऐसी व्यवस्था जो भारत के कोटि कोटि जनों को एक ऐसी व्यवस्था दे सके जिससे एक सस्टेनेबल सिस्टम, जिससे कि वो धीरे धीरे इस शिक्षा नीति के तमाम सारे हिडन जो इसकी भावना है, स्पिरिट है, उसके साथ अपने आप को मल्टी डायमेंशनली आगे बढ़ाने में मदद कर सकें. चारित्रिक विकास, सांस्कृतिक विकास, हर तरह के विकास में अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व महसूस करें. तो ये भी एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पक्ष है. सिनर्जी ऑफ क्यूरिकुलम. क्यूरिकुलम को लेके भी अनेक बातें होती हैं, तो हमें लगता है सिनर्जी ऑफ क्यूरिकुलम अक्रॉस द लेवल्स ये बहुत जरूरी है, जिसके ऊपर हमारी शिक्षा नीति में बहुत जोर शोर से बात कही गई है. टीचर्स एंड फैकल्टी. I mean the number of teachers, the quality of teachers, the orientation of teachers, the selection process of teachers, I mean their advantages and the initiatives to the teachers. There are, and the professional advancement, professional development of the teachers is very important. There are multiple issues related to teachers, not only with the KVS. KVS is indeed doing wonderfully. I agree with that point. But so far as other schooling patterns and chains in the country, I don't want to name any other schooling system in the country, but I mean, teachers' development, rather particularly professional development, is very important. Unless they develop in terms of profession, I mean, in terms of education, that is very important. At this point of time, I would like to categorize teachers in 5 different categories. 5 different categories of teachers. This is very important for, I mean, every teacher, may it be KVS teacher or the teacher at a IIT or any university, central universities, but teacher word is very important. And what the teacher is mean, that I want to tell you. There are 5 categories of teacher. Number 1, first category of teacher is the poor teacher. Poor not in terms of money that he possesses in his pocket. Poor in terms of the delivery of his knowledge to the children or the learners in the classroom. A poor teacher, he or she comes in the classroom and tells something, that's all. Poor teacher, he or she, he tells something to the learners, students in the classroom and goes back. He is a poor teacher. Now, second category of teacher is an average teacher, average. Average teacher is a little of a higher level. He comes and tries to explain the subject also. Beyond telling something, he tries to explain the subject, he or she. So he is an average teacher. The third category of teacher is a good teacher. Good, acha. Good teacher is he who teaches with demonstrative techniques. I think in teaching methodology, demonstration is very important. Very pertinent also. So may it be geography, geology, or the physics, chemistry, biology, or maybe any humanities subject or social sciences. Demonstration, teaching with demonstration is very important, very crucial to make the learner aware with the, spirit of this subject. The depth of this subject. So these are three categories: a poor teacher, an average teacher, and a good teacher. Now the fourth category of teacher is the best teacher. Best teacher is he or she who really inspires the learners. Inspiration is wonderful. If you inspire your learners in your classroom or outside the classroom, I think that is a bigger role and much bigger role for a teacher to be performed. So that is the, fourth category of teacher, that is the best teacher. And the final and the last category of teacher, that is the fifth category of teacher, is the ultimate teacher. Ultimate. There is no category beyond that. So I am proud of that ultimate teacher, and you should also proud of him. We in the country like India have produced such ultimate teachers, and I just want to name that ultimate teacher, and he is or he was Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was the ultimate teacher. There is no teacher beyond Lord Krishna. There was one student before him, and he was Arjun. Now we have several Arjuns in the classroom, around us, everywhere. So now we need to look for a Krishna inside. We need to introspect ourselves as a teacher, where the Krishna lies in our heart, in our brain, in our spirits. So the search for Krishna within is a major task for us to be performed. I think Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, and Krishna is a tradition. We have produced so many such wonderful teachers in the country like Chanakya, Dr. Kalam, Vivekananda, and so on and so forth. There are so many teachers of that tradition. Krishna is a tradition. So we need to abide by that great tradition as being a teacher. So these are some categories of teachers. Now, again, coming to the, several other important ingredients and the policies of this, education policy. Academic auditing. Because there was no provision of auditing of the academic curriculum or the teaching learning methods in the system or the classroom. So academic auditing is essential for the integrity of the education. And again, resource efficiency and transparency is also very important. Whatever resources they made available to us, there should be some kind of proper management of the resources with efficiency and full competency. And besides all that, we should also reviews and necessary modifications also. Research at this level of the school is not much discussed, but I think research in not in terms of the kind of research we have been doing in school or university or colleges or IITs or the NITs or like that. But research at the school level like KVS also necessary in terms of surveys, in terms of certain observations, in terms of with the spirit to improve the quality. So their research should also be taken by educationists, particularly by the psychologists. Because psychologists or the counselors have a great role if they give us a proper feedback in terms of the research carried out by the researchers. That will further facilitate the process. Indianization, भारतीय शिक्षा का भारतीयकरण. हम जिस शिक्षा को ढो रहे थे, अब उस शिक्षा के भारतीयकरण की आवश्यकता है. भारतीयता हमारी शिक्षा व्यवस्था में हर जगह दिखनी ही चाहिए. हमारी भारतीय शिक्षा पद्धति बहुत समृद्ध थी, रिच थी, डाइवर्स थी, पुरातन थी, उसमें संस्कृति थी, ज्ञान था और ज्ञान विज्ञान अनुसंधान की बात की गई. ज्ञान विज्ञान अनुसंधान, ये तीनों कंपोनेंट शिक्षा नीति में बहुत खूबसूरती से डाले गए हैं. सो हमें लगता है कि भारतीय शिक्षा का भारतीयकरण भी एक बहुत जरूरी पक्ष है. And again, education to all. Education is a constitutional right to each one of. I told you in the beginning that irrespective of the caste, creed, race, sex, religion, etc. And again, vibrant education system is the need of this hour. Vibrant. हम देखिए दो तरह के सांप होते हैं, अजगर और कोबरा। अजगर आपने देखा होगा बड़ा सुस्त ढीला ढाला लोटा, उसको छेड़ दो धीरे धीरे डिंगता है, लेकिन एक कोबरा का जो टेंडेंसी छेड़ने से सीधे खड़ा हो जाता है। तो हमें लगता है हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम को कोबरा जैसा अलर्ट होना पड़ेगा। कोबरा अपने को बचाने के लिए कितना अलर्ट रहता है, और कोबरा से मतलब अलर्टनेस से मतलब है हमारे सिस्टम में अलर्टनेस अभी शायद उस डिग्री की नहीं है। So far as KVS is concerned, since I am talking to the very prominent people of like Deputy Commissioner, the Principal Koili Saab, Dr. Pathak, Madam Pathak, it is indeed a versatile system, KVS system, with great integrity, but other chains of school systems be reviewed also. Because it is not only KVS which will reform or transform. The system holistically will have to look others also, because this is very important. Others will have to actively join hand in hand to square the circle, because KVS is doing very well as far as school education in the country or in the system is concerned. But you will have to include the other chains of the school, or you will have to motivate or guide or inspire the other chains of the school as being the leading organization of the country in the school education system. So India to be the global knowledge superpower, that is the ultimate objective of the education policy. We want India to be the superpower of knowledge in the world, and we need to look for the role and responsibilities of teachers in building the nation. And we also instill a deep-rooted pride in being Bharatiya, in spirit, intellect, and deeds. So these are some, basic issues with the education policy. Now, the previous academic setup is 10. It was earlier 2 plus 10. Now it is already 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. That you already know. It is already there, and you are very much aware of that. Now, coming to the, as Madam Pathak rightly informed us that there is an issue of ECCE, Early Childhood Care Education. I was a part of Indira Gandhi National University, and we had a collaboration with Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan earlier, and teachers from your organization used to join this program. It was a 6-month and 1-year program, and that was indeed a beautiful program, developed with the help of so many, leading teachers of the country. So I think it is one of the programs now again, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan and other schooling systems should, I think seriously in the line to take up this program and improve and look for some basic strategies to improve the early childhood care and education in the country. So the components are already there, and you must have gone through the policy draft. So I don't want to repeat all those components, but my basic suggestions regarding the ECC is the challenges are still there. So far as ECC is concerned, early childhood care education, this is again a very challenge, because millions and millions of children are deprived of their development, because we don't have that kind of reach in that area. So how to implement the policy is a biggest issue. I think I have a few very important suggestions. Now, this is again very important, sensitizing local communities and generating awareness. This is one point. Sensitizing local communities where these children are, where the disadvantaged children are living, the local communities, the parents, the society, the stakeholders, the ASHA workers, the local pre-primary teachers, and everybody. Whosoever is there, they should be properly sensitized. Ensuring safety of health. Again, safety. Health is a great concern for these kind of children. If they are poor in health or sick or undernourished or malnourished, they cannot go beyond that by a particular level. So ECC will remain a problem for unhealthy children. So we need to focus on the health of the children, the hygiene, the nutrition, the sanitation, the moral values. Again, the priorities, they prioritize the task. We don't have the prioritization of the task to be performed. So this is a time when we should prioritize the task and take it up. Integrate it with the models of rural development or the tribal development. This is not, included in the policy. Now, after COVID-19, there is a huge change in the rural development, in tribal development process. So we need to look for a, innovative policy, innovative idea or innovative strategy to promote the level of child care in such areas. So we need to integrate and look for a new model, making best use of available resources. We have enormous resources in these areas, but unfortunately, we are not in position to use all these resources available and streamlining these resources. This is again important issue to be taken up. Again, now coming up to you please tell me how much time I have to talk to you. Fundamental, you just pointed fundamental literacy and numeracy is a concern, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Sir, we will be shortly coming back to you with a few more questions. You have really touched all the terms very nicely.
I will take 2, then I will stop.
Surely.
I will take. So
Sir,
there was an ASER report for the school education in the country, and was very alarming. That was very alarming report. Even a student of 8th standard was not able to solve the 2nd or 3rd standard mathematics. Bill Gates undertook some studies in the school education of the country, and he had his own concern about the levels of the standards of education in the country. So tracking, monitoring, identification, the stepwise plan is also necessary as regards the fundamental literacy and numeracy in the country. Digital infrastructure is to be improved to meet the challenges, because this is the need of this era. Digital infrastructure to be improved. Voluntary and joyful activities to be included. Voluntary services by local people. There are hundreds and thousands of retired in service also people who are voluntarily willing to extend their services to the society, community and school education. So we must go to them and should seek their advices and services. Now need to understand the local conditions. Before we understand the issue of fundamental literacy and numeracy, we need to cautiously understand the local conditions and the solutions involved. Solutions be evolved accordingly. So these are some issues to be discussed. Now I'm stopping here. When you point me out, I will come again.
Thank you very much, sir. The topics, all the things contained in NEP, कोई भी चीज एक दूसरे से अछूती नहीं है, और हम एक पहलू को टच करते हैं तो अपने आप ही सारे पहलू उसमें काउंट हो जाते हैं. जैसा कि सर अभी बोल रहे थे, कोई भी बात एक जो उसका टर्म है वो दूसरे टर्म को छू करके ही निकलता है, और सब कुछ पैरेलल चलना है, ऐसा नजर आता है. और अभी हम सबके बीच में प्रोफेसर अमरजीत सिंह सर हैं, और उनके विषय से संबंधित इस प्रश्न को मैं पूछना चाहूंगी. सर, यह योजना शिक्षा की समवर्ती प्रकृति को दर्शाती है, तो किस प्रकार यह राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेश को साथ में लेकर चलते हुए संघवाद की भावना का भी पालन करती है? सार्थक योजना किस तरह से ये समवर्ती प्रकृति को भी दर्शा रही है और किस तरह से संघवाद की भावना को भी पालन करते हुए आगे चल रही है?
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद रविता मैम. आदरणीय आज के इस वेबिनार के मुख्य वक्ता केएस तिवारी साहब, मिस्टर शेख ताजुद्दीन साहब, डिप्टी कमिश्नर सेंट्रल स्कूल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जबलपुर, आदरणीय प्रिंसिपल KV1 मिस्टर चंदन कोहली सर, और बड़े अच्छे ढंग से इस वेबिनार को संचालित कर रही रविता मैम, और जितने भी यहाँ पार्टिसिपेंट्स और डिग्निटरीज उपस्थित हैं, आप सब को सबसे पहले मेरा नमस्कार. और जो प्रश्न पूछा गया या जो बात मुझे निर्देश दिया गया संचालक के द्वारा कि आप उस पर चर्चा करें, कि आखिर जो नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है, जिसको न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 के नाम से जानते हैं। ये हमारे फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर और हमारे फेडरलिज्म, संघीय व्यवस्था और कंकरेंट नेचर जो इसका है, उसको कहां तक संपोषित कर रहा है, कहां तक उसका पालन कर रहा है। तो मैं इस संबंध में सबसे पहले अपनी बात वहां से शुरू करना चाहूंगा जब हमारी ये न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी को वैचारिक रूप से इसकी पृष्ठभूमि तैयार हुई। आप सब जानते हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी, जो अभी एक महत्वपूर्ण अंग, सत्तारूढ़ दल के महत्वपूर्ण अंग के रूप में है, 2014 में चुनाव में आने के पूर्व उन्होंने अपना मैनिफेस्टो जारी किया था और उसमें उन्होंने वादा किया था कि जैसे ही वो सत्ता में आएंगे वो देश में नई शिक्षा नीति को सृजित करेंगे, उसको लागू करेंगे, जिसका उन्होंने लक्ष्य रखा था कि ऐसी शिक्षा नीति को व्यवहारिक रूप दिया जाएगा जिसके आधार पर हम 21वीं सदी में भारत एक नॉलेज सुपर पावर के रूप में उभर के सामने आए। जिस पारंपरिक ज्ञान और हमारी संस्कृति के आधार पर हम विश्व गुरु के रूप में जाने जाते थे, बीच में शिक्षा व्यवस्था में कुछ गिरावट आई, हमारा स्तर गिरता चला गया और इसके बाद ये स्थिति हो गई कि हमारे विश्वविद्यालय दुनिया के टॉप 200 विश्वविद्यालय में भी शुमार नहीं हो रहे थे। इसकी चिंता पूरे समुदाय में, पूरे भारत में, सभी शिक्षाविदों में और स्कॉलर्स में भी थी। और ये हमारे राजनेता भी चाहते थे कि जो हमारी पुरानी जो 1986 में हमारी शिक्षा नीति आई थी और वो भी, उसका भी उद्देश्य बड़ा उत्तम था, लेकिन किसी कारण से वो उतना सफलीभूत नहीं हो सका। तो आखिर कौन कौन से उसमें खामियां थी और क्या क्या चीज थी जिसमें सुधार किया जा सकता था। और इसके लिए आप देखेंगे कि जैसे ही भारतीय जनता पार्टी सत्ता में आई, उसने आने के कुछ ही समय बाद अर्थात 2015 से इसकी तैयारी पूरे भारतवर्ष के कोने कोने से सुझाव आमंत्रित करके किया गया। मैं अभी हमारे वर्तमान जो शिक्षा मंत्री हैं उनका मैं तकरीर सुन रहा था और उसमें उन्होंने कुछ आंकड़े दिए थे। उन्होंने कहा था कि 2015 से जो हमने प्रयास शुरू किया पूरे भारत के संघीय ढांचे को सम्मान देते हुए, और उसमें उन्होंने कहा था कि 2.5 लाख ग्राम समितियों तक वो पहुंचे थे विभिन्न माध्यमों से, और उन ग्राम समितियों से नई शिक्षा पद्धति, हमारी नीति कैसी हो, उससे उन्होंने सलाह मशविरा किया था विभिन्न मंचों के माध्यम से और सुझाव आमंत्रित किए थे। इसके बाद 33 करोड़ छात्र छात्राओं के अभिभावकों से भी विभिन्न मंचों के माध्यम से चर्चा की गई थी, उनसे राय शुमारी की गई नई शिक्षा नीति के बारे में। 1000 से अधिक कुलपतियों के साथ उनकी रूबरू बैठक हुई, कभी वर्चुअल बैठक हो रही थी, कभी दिल्ली में सबके साथ बैठक हो रही थी। इसके साथ साथ 45,000 से अधिक डिग्री कॉलेज के प्राध्यापकों एवं प्राचार्यों के साथ उन्होंने बैठकें की और उनके सुझाव आमंत्रित किए। 1 करोड़ से अधिक अध्यापक जो भारत के विभिन्न कोनों में हैं, क्योंकि हम सब जानते हैं कि कोई भी पॉलिसी जो इम्प्लीमेंट हमको करना होगा तो राज्यों को इसलिए हमको तरजीह देनी होगी, खासकर हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में, क्योंकि 90% हमारे स्कूल्स, कॉलेज और विश्वविद्यालय जो हैं वो हमारे स्टेट्स और यूटीज में हैं। तो उनको लगा कि तभी हम इसको सार्थक रूप से इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं जब हर जगह से हमको कुछ सुझाव आए। और ये सारे सुझाव को उन्होंने जो आंकड़ा दिया उसके अनुसार 2,25,000 सुझाव और सिफारिशें उनको प्राप्त हुई। और इन सिफारिशों को उन्होंने विभिन्न एजेंसियों को एसेस करने के लिए सौंपा और उनके असेसमेंट के बाद, उनके मूल्यांकन के बाद उनमें कौन कौन सी चीजें इनकॉर्पोरेट करने योग्य थी, इसको अलग छांटा गया। और इसके बाद आपको हमारी जो नई शिक्षा नीति है उसका मसौदा तैयार हुआ। और जैसे ही कस्तूरी रंगन जी की अध्यक्षता में, आप सब जानते हैं कि जब ये प्रारूप तैयार हुआ, उसी दिन हमारे शिक्षा मंत्री ने इसको ऑनलाइन कर दिया और इसका व्यापक प्रचार प्रसार किया और भारत के कोने कोने के शिक्षाविदों को आमंत्रित किया और उनको आह्वान किया कि इसमें अगर आपको कोई सुधार करना है, इसका कुछ परिमार्जन करना है, अगर आपको इसमें और कुछ जोड़ना है तो आप अपनी सिफारिशें दें। और उसके बाद भी बहुत सारे सिफारिश आए और इन सब सिफारिशों का सम्मान करते हुए उन्होंने नई शिक्षा नीति 2020 को लागू किया और कैबिनेट से ये अप्रूव हो गया। अब यहाँ ये बात बताने का मेरा एकमात्र उद्देश्य था कि अभी तक अधिकांश जो नीतियां थी वो नीतियां एक तरफा केंद्र सरकार के द्वारा बनाई जाती थी और बलात् उसको थोप दिया जाता था राज्य सरकारों के ऊपर। ये वाहिद ऐसा प्रयास है, ये एक ऐसी नीति है जिसको कार्य रूप देने के पहले इतना ज्यादा एक्सरसाइज किया गया। अगर मैं कहूं कि विश्व में शायद कोई ऐसी योजना नहीं रही होगी जिसके लिए इतनी लंबी और सघन तैयारी की गई जैसा न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के लिए तैयार किया गया। इसके बाद न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी लागू हो गई। एक और चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि जब हमारी 1986 में 34 साल पहले जब हमारी शिक्षा नीति लागू हुई थी तो उसकी कार्य योजना और रोड मैप बनाने में 6 वर्ष का समय लगा था। 1992 में वो कार्य योजना आई, उसमें कुछ संशोधन हुआ कि कैसे हमको इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है। लेकिन यह गर्व की बात है हमारे शिक्षा शास्त्रियों, हमारे जो विशेषज्ञ लोग हैं उन लोगों का प्रयास कि 1 साल के अंदर ये कार्य योजना सार्थक पहल के रूप में हमारे सामने है। और इसमें स्पष्ट किया गया है कि जो भी कार्य योजना बनाई गई है, जो भी न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी की नीतियां हैं, उन नीतियों को क्रियान्वित करते समय इस सार्थक पहल के द्वारा राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को आवश्यक सहायता दी जाएगी। राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों की सरकारों को ऐसा न लगे कि ये नीति उनके ऊपर बलात् थोपी जा रही। ये पूरा है उसके समान के लिए। और न केवल फेडरल एक्सट्रैक्शन, मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि फेडरलिज्म बहुत तरह का है। हालांकि हमारे भारतीय संविधान में फेडरल शब्द का कहीं प्रयोग नहीं किया गया। आप सब जानते हैं कि यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ जो संघवाद है उसमें थोड़ा यूनिकनेस है। लेकिन वर्तमान समय में मैं कह सकता हूं कि संघवाद के बहुत प्रकार हैं। आक्रामक संघवाद है, संघर्षात्मक संघवाद है। लेकिन वर्तमान में 1-2 साल से देख रहा हूं कि हमारा जो संघवाद है ये एक कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म की तरफ बढ़ते जा रहा है, जो एक अच्छे देश और सुदृढ़ देश के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है। और इसके लिए हम मोदी को साधुवाद देना चाहते हैं कि कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म की वो बात कर रहे हैं। और प्रत्येक आप देखेंगे, जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं कि यही अभी सार्थक प्लान जिसकी चर्चा बड़े विस्तार से हमारे आदरणीय तिवारी सर ने बताया था, उन्होंने एक तरह से सारी बातें कम समय में हम लोग को बता दी। तो ये जो सार्थक योजना है इसको भी लागू करने में बहुत विचार विमर्श हुए हैं और राज्य और जो हमारे केंद्र शासित प्रदेश हैं वहां से विभिन्न तरह के सिफारिशें आमंत्रित की गई। मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि 7 सितंबर 2020 को गवर्नर्स की मीटिंग हुई थी ऑनलाइन और उसमें हर स्टेट और यूटीज के गवर्नर शामिल थे, मुख्यमंत्री शामिल थे, वहां के शिक्षा मंत्री शामिल थे, कुछ शिक्षाविदों को भी आमंत्रित किया गया था। और उस सम्मेलन का उद्घाटन माननीय मोदी जी ने किया था और राष्ट्रपति महोदय ने भी उसको संबोधित किया था। और इसके साथ साथ यह विचार विमर्श 6 घंटे तक चली थी। इसकी कमियों की तरफ, इसकी खामियों की तरफ बहुत सारे इशारे किए गए, बहुत सारी सिफारिशें दी गई। और हमारे शिक्षा मंत्री के द्वारा उनको आश्वस्त किया गया कि इन सारी आपके सिफारिशों को पूरा सम्मान देते हुए हम इसको नई शिक्षा नीति और जो कार्य योजना बनाने जा रहे हैं उसमें इनकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सॉरी फॉर इंटरप्शन। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर अमरजीत सिंह सर एंड प्रोफेसर के.एस. तिवारी सर। एक्चुअली उपायुक्त महोदय को एक हिंदी कार्यशाला है क्षेत्रीय स्तर पर, उसका इनॉग्रेशन भी करना है, लेकिन आप दोनों लोगों को सुनते हुए लग रहा है कि पूरा दिन सुनते रहे, इतना अच्छा मतलब हम लोगों को जानकारी मिली है। निश्चित रूप से बहुत ही प्रभावशाली है। एक्चुअली उपायुक्त महोदय की व्यस्तता के कारण मैं माननीय उपायुक्त महोदय को आमंत्रित करता हूं कि वो दो शब्द।
Thank you, Mr. Kurli. Most respected Professor K.S. Tiwari ji, respected Amarjit Kumar ji, respected Principal Saab, Madam Pathak, principals who joined online through this online, and all very talented teachers. So thank you very much for involving me in this very knowledgeable and thought-provoking webinar on educational reforms in India. Yeah, this is new education policy 2020 is a game changer. We can say that is affecting enormously to the future of this country. As everyone just I would like to quote one sentence from the new education policy, because teachers are most important pillars of this system. As Professor Tiwari has said, they are the fulcrum, they are the center point, and they change the complete social structure and social they will become vehicles of social change. There is a saying that generally teachers they teach what they know, but they educate what they are. So here the new education policy, it is facilitating the change in the complete pedagogical system. So the pedagogy must, the sentence is like this: the pedagogy must evolve to make education more experiential, holistic, integrated, discovery-oriented, learner-centered, discussion-based, flexible, and of course, enjoyable. So this is the core of the pedagogy that the new education policy 2020 has suggested to us. We have to work in this line. So for that, the government of India has started this Sardak project, students and teachers, holistic achievement through quality education. Yes, quality education is a matter for us. According to one study, India is not becoming a superpower or not becoming a super economic power. The quality education is one of the reasons. This government has recognized this. It has included to provide the quality education to all children, irrespective of the gender, the socio-economic group, irrespective of caste and creed, even irrespective of disability. So in this line, we are working. Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, through its various programs, we want to enhance the quality outreach to our important clients, that is students. Our teachers are being continuously trained in this line. We are conducting training programs under foundational learning and literacy. We are appointing counselors and special educators to address diversity issues and psychological issues. And we are improving our infrastructure. We are providing modern technology to our teachers as well as our students so that they can do wonderful experiments and wonderful programs in education. Another most important aspect that we are concentrating, how we can provide better and better opportunities to our students. So introducing coding classes to our children and allowing children to opt different subjects in their higher secondary stage. So all these will in connection with the new education policy, and new education policy is it is to be very important for implementation, because it has given a direction to this country, how we can move this country towards developed country, and again how we can be regarded as the Vishwa Guru of this planet. So on this occasion, I would like to congratulate the team, Mr. Kohli, for conducting this wonderful program. So thank you very much, and my apologies also. I am leaving this wonderful webinar. Please continue this one. This is most important and educating to our teachers. Teachers can understand and they can appreciate what the knowledge and experience and expertise being shared by Professor K.S. Tiwari and Dr. Amarjit Kumar. So thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Our DC sir has touched the core of this policy. And our K.S. Tiwari sir, he has talked about the surface of the whole national education policy. Then our Professor sir, Amarjit Singh ji, he has just said how to connect the surface and core together, and how can they keep going on together, integrated with each other. So this was really wonderful, beautiful, and such an intellectual talk by our eminent educationist here. So now I would like to invite our principal sir to say a few words and present the thanks to our guest.
धन्यवाद पाठक मैडम। सबसे पहले तो धन्यवाद ज्ञापन से पहले मैं अपनी दृष्टता के लिए क्षमा चाहूंगा, क्योंकि हमारे विद्यालय के लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण अंग होता है विद्यालय प्रबंधन समिति। और माननीय श्री के.एस. तिवारी जी, जो कि आज से 20 साल पहले से हमारे विद्यालय प्रबंधन समिति के शैक्षणिक सदस्य रहे हैं, एजुकेशनिस्ट मेंबर, और प्रोफेसर अमरजीत सिंह जी, जो कि वर्तमान में हमारे विद्यालय प्रबंधन समिति के शैक्षणिक सदस्य हैं। तो सबसे पहले मैं आपसे क्षमा चाहूंगा। एक्चुअली कुछ हमारे ऐसे हेडक्वार्टर से इंस्ट्रक्शंस थे कि रीजनल लेवल पर हिंदी वर्कशॉप करना है, एंड दैट इज फुल डे वर्कशॉप एंड इट विल स्टार्ट राइट एट 10:30, एंड ऑल द प्रिंसिपल्स, हिंदी स्टाफ एंड regional office members have to join it. Now I would like to present vote of thanks. After this fruitful deliberation, I can firmly claim that NEP 2020 is an excellent strategy for making the education system comprehensive, adaptable, interdisciplinary, and aligned with the demands of 21st century and the sustainable developmental goal of 2030. The goal of NEP 2020 is that every child at every stage should achieve the highest learning outcomes. Substantial improvements under NEP 2020 will close the gap between present and essential learning conditions. The intention of policy is ideal and key to success. That is its implementation plan, Sarthak. Sarthak will definitely make it achievable as desired. With the conclusion of today's fruitful webinar, Making the NEP Sarthak Reality for Education Reform in India, I thank all the dignitaries, Professor K.S. Tiwari sir, Professor Amarjit Singh ji, and Shri Sheikh Tajuddin sir, along with Mrs. Pathak, who worked 24/7 for making this webinar to come true.